Yeah, one of these days I'll have something prepared. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me, and welcome to Mournival Gaming. I am Smart Pig. It is Tuesday night, weekday, Engineerding. Here we go. Bringing up all of the chats so I can see if people are talking to me. It's always fun. Okay. Oh. We are back on Mars. Mars base. We are here for a couple of things, and my health is a little bit low. Now it's going up a little bit. That's fine. Oh, plans today. We are planning on doing two things. The main is getting our centrifuge automated. Good on food, good on water. And I've never done that before. Like, ever. I've never had the need. But this base has actually gotten fairly well automated so far. I'll do a quick tour, some of the little projects that I worked on. Most recent project, I'll start with that first. And lights on, please. That might be something we do today. So, I renovated the atmospherics a little bit. I already had pollutants being filtered out. That's for charging a tank. And I set up the nitrous over here so that I could start filtering out as things go. I've got none right now. That's okay. Yeah, so that's set up. Redid the automation on all of the chips because the one that I was running wasn't really working out so great. I mean, it worked, but it was clunky, unrefined. So, there's that. Before we talk about that, I have redone, with what I've learned, the water generation over here. Worked out a better way of doing things so that instead of recirculating the gases, we just, because there's no water in here, it just goes straight up into our waste to get its heat sucked out of it and turned into power and then filtered and generated into our lovely areas. I'm using pollutant right now, simply because I don't have any nitrous oxide. Problem with using pollutants on, as you can probably see, problem with using pollutants on Mars for the temperatures that water is safe to use at is it's really high pressure in the liquid pipes. These guys burst around 6.08 megapascals, and I've got to run it at 5.7 megapascals to keep it as a liquid. So that's what all the pipe groaning is about. And to cool the water to usable levels, I just have this guy over here. It works. It's not super power hungry, and that works better than just, Rube Goldberging it, which I did over in the other place. But this one is much faster, much faster at generating water. I've already got 6.75 liters. Good to go. I don't have any changes in here to show you. It's still kind of the same way it was, unfinished. And this has been discontinued. I'm going to tear this down eventually and then repurpose this space. It might be what we do a little bit later, so because in there is where we're going to be doing our farming specifically for doing composting and the like. But today to start, at least, we're coming over. We can turn that light off now. Here to our little warehouse area, which I still haven't enclosed yet. And we're going to automate this son of a bitch. Oh, hey, cool. Perfect timing. We're going to turn that all the way down. It has nothing in it. Open you up. Pressure starts going down. Okay, so let's explain how this guy works a little bit. This is a combustion centrifuge. It works 5 times as fast as your electric one because it can get up to like 520 RPM. So it processes materials really fast. It takes in fuel, combusts it at a very slow rate, and exhausts this way. We are using the exhaust to heat the furnace. That might change, but right now that's what we're using it for. It has 4 controls on. It's got a chip reader over here that, we could potentially use. An empty lever, just like, everything else that has stuff in it that you want to get out. A display. They hold around 3,000-ish items, like full grams of material. So partial grams, it does not spit out, as far as I'm aware. You have a throttle, and then you have a combustion limiter. So the throttle is, that speaks for itself. It's how fast it's allowed to go. Your combustion limiter is kind of like a choke. Or I think it's like a choke. So it lets in more or less gas depending on how fast you want it to go. You could actually turn it all the way up and it'll run without raising this combustion limiter, but it'll take forever to get there, and it will never get to full speed. So we need to figure out a way to automate this, get it all the way up to its maximum speed without the stress, which will cause it to fail or stop running, getting too high. So we've got a number of different things to monitor. So let's take a look here. Combustion centrifuge. Reading this. Okay, so let's take a read here. Here's your throttle. Here's our RPM, combustion input, combustion output. Here's a combustion limiter, and then here is our stress. So I think I want to add some displays to this. So I think we'll use the chip in the combustion centrifuge itself. And then we'll put in a couple of displays here. So let's go grab some of those. Search consoles. There we go. I want 3. 4. Whoops. Let's do 4. We want RPM, stress, throttle, combustion limiter. Maybe we'll actually look at the combustion gases at some point to figure out how much unspent fuel is going through there. But let's see now. It is kind of compact. Let's grab a wall to mount these on. I just thought about that. So I've changed my mind about using the socket that's in the centrifuge because I don't want to mess around with batch named commands right now. That's just asking for trouble. So I should have... Because where I had some extra walls in here, I guess not. Let's do a quick and dirty flat wall. Hello, floor grading. Fancy meeting you here. I love how things just launch out of there. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Can only fit 3, so 1, 2. No, that's not gonna work. Where? There you are. There's 1, 2. I don't like it, but I will deal with it for now. Okay. Edit, clear. Okay, so alias centrifuge D0 alias throttle LED D1 alias LEED limiter LED D2 alias stress LED D3 and alias RPM LED D4 start yield. All right, so we're going to use a lot of branching loops on this one. We're going to use a lot of branching loops on this one. So F1, we're looking at here. So error is if it gets full. Right? Let's think here. So when it's spinning up, I want it to go through a cycling loop. When it's spinning down, I also want it to go through a cycling loop. And we're going to because yeah, pressure, reagents, ratio, required power, clear memory, export count, import count, total moles, prefab hash, combustion, pressure input, temperature input, ratio input, output. Is there a way to throttle RPM stress? Reference ID. Let's see here. Air pressure. Pressure is going down. Temperature is going down. Lock reagents 1.94. So it's a reagent count. Okay, so reagents is how many is in here. We'll keep a memory of that. All right, so assuming we're starting from cold. So start. Spin up. Load R0 from the front centrifuge. Stress. Load R0 from centrifuge. Logic type throttle. So we want to load the current throttle. Now, is that... Let's find that. Throttle is at 0. 10. Okay, so that's in solid numbers. Same with combustion limiter. It's not in a ratio. It's not at a ratio, it is solid numbers. Okay. Load. So we've got our current throttle. Add R0, R0, 10. Set. Okay, so if it goes into spin up, we don't want it increasing the throttle if it's got stress. 0 from centrifuge stress. Branch greater than 0. R0. Spin up. Okay, so if there's stress in there, it will not go through increasing the throttle. So we will add 10 to the throttle and set that to the centrifuge. Logic type. Throttle R0. We're going to set that to R1, add into R2, R1, R2, sleep. We want it to wait 5 seconds. And then branch. Branch equals, if R1 is equal to 100, branch to limiter up. Because we're going to go through the throttle the whole way, and then we'll do the limiter. Sleep. J, spin up. So we're going to delete that for a couple of minutes. Hit, and we'll test that. Confirm. Export. There we go. Okay. So do I have the centrifuge on the logic network? Because I should have seen that already. I do not. Should be in the C's. Combustion centrifuge. Okay. So we want throttle, limiter, RPM, stress. Set U to throttle. Limiter. Stress. RPM. Power on. Stress is going up, but throttle is not moving. Most stressful time for this thing is when it first starts up. Stress is reducing. I want that to be all the way down to 0 before we bring it up again. Stress up to 20. Stress up to 30. It might be going a little fast. 40. 50. 60. 70. 80. 90. And we're at 100. Boom. Look at that. That should start going down now. Because the pressure is going down. There we go. Okay. So, we've got that taken care of. Let's go ahead in there. Branch equals R1 100. Branch 2 limiter up. So, limiter up. And there's the stress. There we go. All right. Let's load R0 from the centrifuge. I can spell, I swear. Logic type. Combustion limiter. BEQ R1 100 to start. Then we're going to do the same thing basically from up there. Add R2, R1, 10. Set centrifuge combustion limiter R2. Sleep 5. J limiter up. Just so it doesn't error out on me. Export. So I think we're going to add a switch. Power on. Stress is at 0. I never gave it a reason to go in there. So we'll just go through. Fix that later. Export. Power on. Throttle's at 10. Now I just got to get over that initial hurdle of stress. And while it's getting over that initial hurdle of stress, I'm going to go get some liquid refreshment. I have returned. Seems my character needs some refreshment himself. So let's go ahead and... I have full confidence that's going to work. The question is the throttle going to work? And if we come back and it's in an error state because the stress was too high, well, so be it. There we go. There's not a whole lot of food left in there. While that's cooking. Why are you not drinking? That's a little annoying sometimes. I might mess with how fast that elevator goes. Open. Thank you. Throttle is at 100. But it hasn't gone to the combustion limiter yet. Okay. Just to check. Read right. So if the centrifuge's throttle is at 100, it's supposed to jump to limiter up. Load in R0 centrifuge combustion limiter. B equals, if it's at 100, jump to start. Combustion limiter is at 0. So why isn't it increasing? Greater than equal to 100. How about this? Set throttle LED setting R1. Confirm. Export. Power on. Throttle's at 100. Okay. Oh. That would explain it. Throttle's at 100. Limiter's at 100. No. No, 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 no. Okay. That's where I screwed up. Okay, so add R1, R0, set limiter R1, sleep 5. Confirm, export. That ticked up. That ticked up. Okay. Okay. Now let's... There we go. Okay. So, that works. All right. Throttle down. We're going to do this in reverse, actually. Limiter down. Really? Okay. Limiter down. We're just going to borrow that code right there instead of typing it out. Branch equal to 0. R0. Throttle. Down. Subtract to R1. R0. 10. Set. Centrifuge. And limiter. R1. J. Limiter down. Now, how do we make it do this? Okay. J. Spin up. And then we'll change this one from start to limiter down. And then throttle down. LR0. 0. Not RO, R0. Branch equals 0, R0, J start. So we'll just go through the routine again. Subtract to R1, R0, 10, set, centrifuge, throttle, R1, J, sleep, 5. We want it to sleep. Sleep 5, J, throttle down. Confirm. Gimme. Export. Start. Okay, it's throttling down fine, or limiter is going down fine, no issues. RPM is going down already. Throttle's going down. Now stress is going to get crazy high because we're probably going too fast. Throttle's going back up now. Okay. Okay, so we can spin it up and spin it down so far without craziness. So now we need to actually know when we want to go through these routines. We're going to go to start. So when do we want it to go through the spin up? Well, more importantly, let's start with when we want it to go out of spin up, spin down. Stress is going crazy because it dropped the RPM dropped so low. Okay. It's always going to do that when it's spinning down. Load. We're going to go with reagents. I don't want it to go all the way full, because if it goes all the way full, it'll go through an error. And that would just be awkward. R0 from the centrifuge reagent. And we want it to start the spin up when it's empty-ish. Branch when it's greater than equal to, let's go 2,750 grams of reagents. R0, 2,750, go to spin down. And after spin down, we want it to go to dump. So dump, set centrifuge to its open, move R0 to 1, open is 1. Load R1, dump loop. Fuse reagents. Set greater than, branch greater than R1, 10, dump loop. And then if once it reaches 10 or less, set move R0 to 0, set centrifuge open R0, J start. So that'll be the end of it, but it'll jump back up at the start. Okay, so if the reagents set centrifuge, I don't need to worry about clear memory because we're not worried about the export count on it. It'll go through spin down. Go to dump. Load. Centrifuge. Sorry, R0, centrifuge, RPM. RPM. Branch greater than 0. Back to dump. Because if you open it while it's moving, it will, well, error. We don't want it to error. So we want to wait until the centrifuge is at 0 before we dump. And then it'll just, once it opens, it goes into the dump loop. And once, when the reagent count gets down to 10, it'll move R0 to 0 and close the centrifuge and jump up to start. And because it's J spin up. And I'll go through the spin up routine. Now, is there a better way to do this? I don't know. Probably. But this is my way. And I invented it literally just now. Okay, so we want to keep track of... Why is throttle at 0? It's because I turned it off. We want to keep track of throttle, the limiter, RPM, and stress. So we'll just load R5, fuge RPM, set RPM LED setting R5, load R6, centrifuge, stress, set stress LED setting R6, load R7 from the centrifuge, throttle, set throttle LED setting throttle, whoops, what am I saying? R7, load from the centrifuge, load R8, emitter, set, limiter LED, setting R7, load R9, throttle, set throttle LED setting R9. So that'll update while it's going through. The only thing that should change is the RPM. That'll go up and down. So as we change this stuff, when it's in its loops, do the same thing. Do the same thing. Am I bloating the code a little bit? Yeah. Is it really going to hurt anything? No. How about I do this? Update loop. Rather than putting it down there, why don't I just put it up there where I can easily copy and paste it all? Loop. RPM. Stress. Throttle. Combustion limiter. I did throttle twice. All right. JAL jumps to a specific place and sets the next line as its return address. JRA. So, when it starts, it goes to the update loop, goes through all of these, and then jumps back up to here. And then we can do the same thing at the beginning of spin up. JAL update loop. Update loop. Update loop. Update loop. Confirm. Export. RPM 74, stress 37. Just watch this go through. Stress is starting to reduce. And I think I want to put in a lever so that it'll dump when I tell it to. Let's go print out. Well, let's monitor it actually go up first. Why? Are these both updating simultaneously? That's... Let us review that. Because my... Okay. Oh! That'll do it. Stress went up a little bit. Because the limiter went a little fast. Might adjust that later. Alright. Let's go get a switch. Or a lever. And we'll add a purge command. Logic switch. Switch lever. State 1, state 0. Okay, so hit edit. Load R0 reagents. Load R1 from alias purge lever D5. Purge lever state. Nope. Open. Is Ko-fi a Patreon like? I'm dyeing my hair and not running a game right now. Is Ko-fi a Patreon-like? It's similar. It allows you to donate directly to a person one time, or you can set up a thing where it renews or redoes it. Yeah, it's basically Patreon-like, I guess. Currently, the Ko-fi is... Oh, there you go. Mr. Worms answering in the chat. Open. We're going to OR that to R0, R0, and R1. So if... Oops. Not yet. Okay. So this is... We're gonna pin that. Or... Load R0 reagents. Set greater than equal to R0. R0. 27... 50... And then we're going to... Or to R0, R0, R1. Branch greater than 0, R0. Okay. So the way this works, if the centrifuge's reagents are greater than 2750, it'll set R0 to 1. If R1, if the purge lever is open, activated, it'll be 1. What the OR does is if R0 or R1, either of them is set to 1, it'll set R0 to 1. And 1 is greater than 0. Export. Open. Ah, it's erroring. Line 11. What did I screw up? Load R1. Aha! It's because the purge lever is not set in D5. On. No error. There we go. It's going through the routine. So far, so good. Everything is down. Now we're just going to wait for that RPM to drop. I'm going to pick that up in case of a storm. We're just going to go ahead and water and fodder really quick. Okay. Go check on that centrifuge. RPM is at 38. We're going to close that because we got to put in a state to reset that after it's gone through a dump routine. It is saying the RPM is at 436. It's currently in the dump. Wish it slowed down a lot faster than that. That one. Come on, today, please. That's getting annoying. Can we stop moving, please? Would it have killed the devs to make it a little bit faster once it got to 1 RPM? Come on, I just want to see it open. Dump everything out of it. Fucking really? I just want to see it open, dump its contents, and then go back into a startup. That's it. That's all I want to see. It's going to be tomorrow by the time this thing goes. Spiders? What spiders? You dick. I just wanted to confuse you. Ass. Oh, hey. It'll dump when the RPM's below 1. Okay. Reagents is less than 10. Alright, let's look at this. Open. Interesting. Is that the... Okay. Open is 1. Open is 0. Okay, so... 0. If R1 is greater than load reagents, greater than 10, dump loop. Go through that until it's empty. 0, and then I'll go to start. Something is... wrong. Okay. So it didn't dump the way it was supposed to. Load branch greater than 0, R0 back up to dump. So it's supposed to be updating. So I want to change that. Branch greater than, if R0 is greater than 10 RPM, go to dump. And it'll keep going through until RPM hits 10. And then it'll pass, move R0 to 1, set centrifuge open to R0. That should open it. And then it'll go through the dump loop. And then it'll keep going through this until reagents falls below 10. Then it'll move R0 to 0, set centrifuge open R0, and then go to JStart. Go to start. Y'all say sadly, I say thankfully. Oxygen is back up. Swap our power. Helmet on. Why did it go up to 20? That's confusing. Okay. Be a known death stream for you. Well, you see, Pav, there are other ways of dying in this particular game when there are no explosions involved. I'd find a way. I could very easily poison your atmosphere. Listen, you're gonna make it out like I do it intentionally, okay? That's not the case. Okay, let's see it go through. It's dropping everything down. All right. Z, I don't intentionally poison the atmosphere. What I do intentionally do is make you suffer. It just so happens that those two coincide. Okay. So while we're waiting on this thing, let's look here. Advanced composter. Composter creates fertilizer out of organic matter. It accepts food, decayed food, or biomass. It requires water and power to operate, accelerating the natural water and power. When processing, it releases nitrogen and volatiles, as well as a small amount of heat. Compost composition. Fertilizer is produced at a 1-to-3 ratio of fertilizer to ingredients. The fertilizer's effects on plants will vary depending on the respective proportions of its ingredients. Food increases up to 2 times. Decayed food increases growth speed up to 2 times. Increases the number of growth cycles. The fertilizer lasts for up to 5 times. Okay. So it releases nitrogen and volatiles. How is it preventable, Pav? I mean, you made a claim. Let's do that. We might have a problem of using R0 a little bit too much. Firm. RP is at 11. 10. RPMs are less than 10. Why aren't you opening? Okay. Open is read and write. Okay. So it was a case of using R0 too many times. Are you talking about revenants and D&D? I wouldn't know. It's been so long since I've played Inquisition and Origins. Alright, we're gonna let this run through the cycle one more time. I think the finishing touches are done on it. And then we'll figure out the next thing on the to-do list, which is the composter. How much iron do I have? Nowhere near empty. Okay. Or full. Okay. So far, so good. Now we just need to see it go through and do the purge. And the stress is going up because it's slowed down. I can't remember if I finished Inquisition or not either. I think I got very close to the end, if not the end. Almost there. There it goes. Boom. All right. Sweet. Automated it. It's completed. It'll run. Now I gonna start on something else. All right. Why am I going to the power section? Okay. So. Time to work on this. I'm not sure how I want to do this. Okay. So we want to set it up to compost. We want some food going in there, some decayed food going in there, and then some biomass going in there. What we really want is we want to make sure that the nitrogen and the volatiles are captured. So, composter. Advanced composter. Electrum and solder. And you're out of electrum and solder, huh? Okay. Do I have solder in here? That is Constantan. Well, let's go ahead and take care of the critical alerts. Okay. So we need solder and we need electrum. Not that one. That one. That one. Okay. Thank you, cat. I put work into it. Forgot about that. And let me just go ahead and ban you. Bots get the ban hammer. Okay, we were making electrum and solder. So, electrum is gold. And silver. And then we need lead. And iron for the solder. We're going to close you. You are currently closed. You are really cold. Okay, so we are going to... this guy. Split one. Split one. There we go. There we go, solder. That is exactly why I keep that furnace around. And then you're at gold and silver, your pressure's too high. Here we go. Electrum. And a storm's incoming. Electrum. Mirror. Goes in there. And then the solder. We want one of those. Print. Okay, so we want regular walls. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Okay, so we're going to put it in an isolated room. I'm going to try and get it up towards the front. Just flings walls out of there. Okay. So this is pulling the O2 out of the atmosphere. There we go. I think I'm going to put you there. And then what goes into you? Steel sheets. Advanced. Composter. Build state. Just 5 steel sheets. Okay. We're going to need glass and plastic too. Open. Sheets, steel sheets, and we need 5. Print those. I have a pressure regulator. Grab you. And we need volume pump. We only need 1 of those. And we're going to want insulated pipes. Let's grab a stack of those. Okay. Get that put on. Okay. Let's see here. Why do I have so many chutes in my pocket? Where are my walls? Where did my walls go? I'm confused. Did they change places with anything I picked up? Did anybody happen to see what happened to the walls that I was holding? Of course you did. Because that is something you would do. You bastard. Open. There they are. I need glass sheets. Let's go ahead and print out a stack of 5. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, this is the wrong one. Are you kidding me? How the hell did that happen? Okay, distractions aside. This is where we wanted to go. Okay. So, that's our waste pipe. Right? That's our waste pipe. So we want to put a wall here. A vent. There. Let's just go ahead and put a pipe in there so that the pump has something to attach to. There we go. All right, that's piped. Of course it is. We want... cable coming in. Go grab that plastic that I printed out. Or that glass. No, I've got the glass. Okay. We need more plastic. And then we can fill up our freaking oxygen tank. What the hell? Done with you. Why are you even in there? Really? Why did I print that out again? I'm getting tired, folks. Okay. Accelerating natural composting when processing as well as a small amount of heat. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about whether it needs to be in an atmosphere or not, so I'm not terribly worried about that. We don't want oxygen in there, because if it gets too warm in there, the volatiles and the oxygen will combust, and then explosions happen. Also, volatiles are bad for plants. Currently flashing an error. Okay, why are you flashing with an error? I wonder. Ah, it's because I don't have any water hooked up to the back. Duh. Completely forgot about the water side of things. Okay. Let's get a water pipe in there. I just so happen to have a lot of them. Well, not a lot, but enough. So, that's piped. Well, the inside of the box is piped. And go ahead and put a window in there so we can see. Turn you on. 5 liters, that's fine. Okay. And shoot there. Crap. Now I can box you in. Okay. Cool. Now it's more automation. That I really don't feel like setting up right now. Um... Yes. This will give it water. And we need to pipe water in here. Not something I'm currently interested in messing with at the moment, to be perfectly honest. Oh, but we can at least clean up this wire that's just hanging out here. Okay. So we want... kind of want displays. Going on in here, and... yeah. Yeah. Okay. Housing, couple of displays, and a button. Do I have a housing already? I do not. Okay. I see 10. Rent one of you. They take forever to print. Thank you. Housing. Alright, so here's its logic. Import count, export count, maximum setting, whether it's running or not. It's activate, it's mode. What are its different modes? Mode 0 and mode 1. Okay. Mode 0 is it's not running. Mode 1 is it's inactive, active. Activate is just a button. Quantity. I wonder. We need a switch. And then I want a display. Don't know what it's for yet, but I'll figure that out. Okay, so it's not active yet. Doesn't have water or anything. So let's see what it's reading right now. Quantity is 27. So it's got 27 items in it. Okay. Is there an open switch? There's not. So as soon as it's done processing, it automatically dumps. Okay. I can work with that. We want there. You there. And where is my... There you are. Switch. State 0, state 1, state 0, state 1. So I want that to... Don't care. Okay. Alias composter E0 alias switch D1 start yield. Load R0 from the switch. Logic type is setting. Set composter mode R0 J start. Easy peasy, right? Uh, Advanced composter. Switch. Okay. Not mode. Interesting. Let us look at another. Let me look at another resource really quick. Does not give me a whole lot of information. Yes. Okay. Maybe because I don't have any water in it yet. Currently processing. Mode 0. Mode does nothing. Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay, well, that started at least. From here, it's just a matter of getting water in here. There are volatiles in here now. That's okay. Just gonna let that run for now. I think that is good for the night. We have the centrifuge automated. I have the composter at least built, and an a fume fan so that it'll pull the nitrogen and the hydrogen out of there, or at least the volatiles out of there, to be processed. I have no idea how many volatiles it will create, so I don't know if only one is going to be necessary, is going to be adequate for what I want to do. But at least we have that set up. We have water going, and it's going at a rate that will actually sustain us, I think. Come on. I think it will actually produce at a generate water at a fast rate if I'm doing nitrous, or if I'm using nitrous as the refrigerant. I would like next time really. Thank you. I would like next time to actually set one of these up. Because I want to switch to using nitrous. I don't want to mine the nitrous. I can create oxygen with plants. That's easy enough. That's easy. I just have to build a much larger farm. Well, no, I don't have to build a much larger farm. I just need to run it continuously, and it will generate from CO2, oxygen, and then I can use the oxygen to create the nitrolyzer. And I need volatiles and oxygen. God damn ad break as I'm ending things. Over on Twitch, at least. Yeah, next time I want to mess around with setting up a nitrolyzer. That way I have nitrous oxide to start mixing into my main fuel for everything aside from... Well, no, everything. H2 combustor. Volatiles and oxygen. So it needs oxygen, not nitrous. So we'll have to have 2 fuel mixes set up. One for creating water and one for everything else. Power critical. Why don't I just take my suit off at this point? But I think I am gonna save that for next time. I'll get all the groundwork set up for it, but I should have it ready to go the next time we do a weekday Engineerding stream. That being said, next week on Tuesday, I will be on call. So we will not be having an Engineerding stream during the week next week. This weekend, I'm also on call, so we won't be having a weekend Engineerding on Sunday. Yes, I'm moving it to Sunday, because why not? That's why I streamed Saturday and Sunday this previous week. If you missed either of those streams, you can go back and take a look at them. They should be over on YouTube. They should also still be queued up for in here. Tomorrow night, we should be playing Elden Ring. We figured out what we wanted to do as our group stream. Thursday night, we'll be back with Z doing more Fallout 4 adventures, unless he decided to do something different. I don't know. I'm kind of retarded that way. I can say that on Twitch, can't I? Who cares? Yep. Thank you all and good night.